Hello everyone, I'm Mark Suxford and I want to welcome you all to my new podcast called People Behind Brands, brought to you by Making Websites Better. Throughout the series, I'll be opening up my little black book of contacts where I'll be joined by an inspirational guest from the world of business, getting to the bottom of what made them so successful. In each episode, I'll be touching upon the highs and the lows that every professional has faced along the way. To never miss an episode, subscribe to our exclusive content now and follow us on our social media platforms. People Behind Brands. Life lessons from the world of business. A travel fan, but a family man. Our next guest joins us to promote his new business venture, Ultimate Travel Club, an exclusive travel club that includes many exciting benefits in the wake of the global pandemic and the chance to holiday once again. As the former CMO of Walt Disney and founder of the highly successful organisation Pimento, Stephen Knight is a well-known, well-respected individual who's here to share his personal and professional story. Let's get right to the heart of this great man. It's great to get you on our podcast and find out more about your brand, your experience and who you are as a person. How are we feeling today?
Tip top, despite the weather.
It's not great out there, is it, unfortunately, especially for a summer July. So where are you joining us from today then?
I've just moved to the Cotswolds, so I'm in the countryside. I'm based at a little village called Fulbrook.
Excellent. So Stephen is a seasoned Chief Marketing Officer with over 35 years experience. He has worked for Fortune Top 500 and FTSE Top 100 companies, including the Walt Disney Company. A former advertising agency executive, Stephen founded the world's first virtual full-service marketing agency, Pimento, which now has a network of over 5,000 people within 200 agencies and consultancies. Pimento has also become a recent partner with Making Websites Better, the sponsor of this podcast. During his career, Stephen has served on various boards and has held several NED positions and is a trustee for a not-for-profit energy company and has worked with brands right across the travel industry with cruise, airline and OTAs. Stephen has now a particular focus on launching the new venture, which he's incredibly passionate about, Ultimate Travel Club, a brand new members-only travel club that will give subscribers access to the industry's best prices, previously only available directly to travel agents. Before their official launch in September 2021, Ultimate Travel Club are offering consumers the chance of becoming a founder member and join the 500 Club. You can do this by visiting the site www.ultimatetravelclub.com. So, Steve, let's get straight into and talk more about Ultimate Travel Club. What is the idea behind this new venture and how will it benefit those looking to travel again, especially after the pandemic?
So good morning, Mark, and thanks very much for having me. Really appreciate the opportunity to actually reach out to your listeners. UTC, Ultimate Travel Club, is a leisure and travel club that offers its members commission-free travel for both here and in the UK, both in the UK and abroad. Unlike travel agents, both the offline and the online variety, we don't add any commission to the rates we negotiate with our suppliers. We run our business on the money we make from our membership subscriptions. This means that the rates and fares we offer to our members are usually significantly cheaper than you'd find elsewhere. And we also provide the choice that a travel agent couldn't. We have a huge array of products, all of which are available with no markups, without the restricted availability you get from some existing travel clubs. And we back that promise with a price guarantee, whereby if you find a cheaper rate or fare for exactly the same product or service on a public-facing website, we'll refund and cancel your booking and refund you the difference. So that's our objective, really, is to bring travel back better and do it in a way that actually helps the consumer get more choice, better value and outstanding service.
Okay, excellent. So launching something new is always exciting, but with so much experience and what you have achieved working for and setting up companies, what makes Ultimate Travel Club particularly special for you?
Well, let's face it, COVID has been dreadful for everyone. We've all been impacted in some way, shape or form. People really in need of a break, some time out, whether it's here or abroad, and that they need access to great value. One of the things we've witnessed as a consequence of the pandemic is that the cost of travel has actually risen. If you look at the average price, particularly if you are renting a cottage or vacating here in the UK this year, there's been a substantial increase because obviously the demand is there. Abroad in the markets as they've opened up, we've seen sharp increases in prices, the short windows that people have been able to travel. So there's a lot of confusion, there's a lot of pent-up demand, and at the same time, there's a lot of increasing costs. So with our subscription model, what we're hoping to do, what we will be doing from September, as little as £19 a month, is offering our subscribers, our members, access to a huge array of products. And from that £19 each month, £10 of that goes into their own travel wallet, pound for pound. And we're able to offer club members a range of benefits that includes hotels, around 900,000 worldwide, in fact, holiday rentals, cottages, cruises, as well as discounts on flights, car hire. And for our Travel Plus members, we'll also include discounts at restaurants, theme parks, attractions, golf courses, cinemas and theatres. So it's a holistic proposition, and it's designed to basically give access to products, in some cases, which otherwise wouldn't be available. So product that actually our suppliers give us exclusivity on, given that we have a walled garden, if you like, of our subscribers. And we're also obviously very acutely aware of our obligations to the environment. So we partnered up with an organisation called Ecology. They're a leading environmental carbon offset project, and they're based here in the UK. And we're working with them to offset our members' carbon footprint and fund global climate projects. So part of each of our members' monthly subscription, along with our own funds, will be used to plant a tree for every member every month. And then we hope within a year we'll be planting around a forest a month. Ecology have been doing this for a while now, and they've been supporting climate projects around the world. And to date, they've planted 20 million trees. So there's really sort of three tenets to our proposition, which is great value, fantastic choice, and to an extent, because let's be honest about it, travel does leave a carbon footprint, but we're offsetting part of that carbon footprint and giving people, I guess, more of a warm feeling about their travel arrangements and what they do.
Yeah, it certainly sounds exciting, and obviously with people getting back to travel now, it gives them, as you say, an exclusive option really. So as I mentioned before, you have a great success being part of Walt Disney and of course Pimento. So talk to us about your experiences there.
Well, Walt Disney, I mean, it's probably the most famous brand in the world. It's still the leading entertainment provider in the world. It's an outstanding business, incredible culture, and it's truly diverse, both in terms of the people it engages and works with, the audiences it attracts, and its global coverage of its products and services. And its whole philosophy is about creating wonderful, lifelong memories for both children and for adults. I think all of us have got a favorite Disney film. Many of us would have gone to a Disney theme park. Many of us may have explored Disney on the high street, walked into a shop or a Disney store, whatever it happens to be. And there's multiple touch points across their businesses and creates what I regard as the ultimate experience brand. And I've kind of learned from that actually how we can actually take brand experience and bring that to life with the various ventures that I've been involved in. In fact, Pimento was developed from my experiences when I was head of brand and senior vice president for marketing at Disney in Europe, Middle East and Africa. And like many businesses, Disney is incredibly siloed. Has lots of different business entities, from film to television to travel and so on. And all of them are solid businesses, and many of those businesses exist in multiple countries. And my role was to basically take all of those silos and get them actively to work together to address company-wide objectives, to ensure that we were basically pulling the operating divisions together within the markets and across the region to support company-wide projects, whether it was a launch of a new movie or perhaps a new television network or perhaps a new theme park. We were able to leverage the might of our own media and all of our access to our customers across those businesses for the benefit of the business overall. And that sort of skill set and that sort of experience has been invaluable to me in business, because it's about getting people to work together. It's about finding common ways we can get people to cooperate and benefit end customers and create brilliant experiences. Now, one of the interesting things about Disney is that it does a huge amount of its marketing itself. A lot of its marketing spend and a lot of its media is owned. That said, they spend somewhere around about 200 to 250 million pounds on advertising every year. And naturally enough, all the divisions within Disney all had agencies supporting them, some very good agencies, in fact. But each of those agencies, depending on what their actual marketing discipline was, came to the Disney company with an objective, which was ultimately to sell their services. And therefore, there was a limit to how objective they could be when they looked at a challenge or a marketing challenge, and they tended to default clearly back to what they actually did. So the ad agency would pitch advertising, the sponsorship agency would pitch sponsorship, the direct marketing agency, direct marketing, and so on. And that's great up to a point, but it's actually very difficult being a CMO these days, being a marketeer, because you have so many different channels to market. And actually understanding those channels that are actually going to really drive business performance can be very difficult. So my conclusion to my experience in Disney was that I felt there was a better way in which clients and brands could actually access agency talent in a more objective way and get better value for money. So a little bit exactly, Pimento in its own way was about breaking the mold. It's a disruptor. It offers clients access to 5,500 marketing professionals. We've got over 200 independent agencies in the UK, and we only work with independent agencies because I found them to be far more collaborative, in many respects more creative, a lot more flexible, and most importantly, they really enjoy working together. They see the benefits of working together for their clients. And what we do is we create these bespoke teams by identifying what clients need, how we're going to drive their business performance, then drawing on that talent base of the network. That way, clients basically get people who really understand their business, they understand the sector, they are masters within their own chosen discipline, and all of that activity is coordinated by a single person who basically manages that resource on behalf of the client. The client gets, frankly, effectively an outsourced marketing solution, and it's bespoke in nature, so it can be built around their own internal resources. They get better value, they get more seniority, they get more accountability, and frankly, they get a better service. And this has resonated with a lot of businesses that we've worked with. We started out in 2005. It's become particularly relevant now, obviously through the COVID period. A lot of the agencies we work with are remote, have worked in a bespoke fashion for many, many years. So for them, it wasn't difficult to adopt a bespoke home working situation.
Yep.
And like UTC, as I say, it's about doing things in a more efficient way by giving better value and giving better choice. And I suppose those are the two parallels between Pimento and Ultimate Travel Club. And it's gone very well. We continue to grow. I think we have 10 agencies join us each and every month. Our client base continues to grow, and it's incredibly diverse because we're able to cover across a huge number of different categories.
Your business experience is truly something to be admired now with so much success. But what would you say is your why? Your why for striving for more on a personal level?
I guess I love what I do. I'm kind of driven by a desire to shake things up and make things better. My real passion is people. Surround yourself with people who are far better than yourself. You'll learn from them, and by bringing those people and creating that cohesion, you create fantastic teams. And teams can change things. They can make things better. That's my passion. Is looking at a sector, looking at a business opportunity, working out actually why is it not working as well as it might? How is it broken? How can we use talent? How can we use ideas and creativity and sometimes technology make things better for customers? And that's what drives me.
Yeah. So just touching back to the Ultimate Travel Club. So the travel industry was obviously an area that was heavily affected by COVID-19. But how would you say the pandemic affected you personally rather than the business?
At a personal level, I mean, first of all, I got it. I got it quite early on. We were doing an event in Manchester back in March of 2020, and I think I managed to get COVID there. It was literally the week before events got closed down, and we were hosting or being hosted at a large event where we had 10 of our agencies on a stand at an industry event. So I brought that home with me, and Julie gave it to my wife. But at a personal level, I've been really lucky. I'm fortunate. I have a home where I can work from. I have access to a garden. That's not been the same for everyone. If you're a key worker, you're working in the front line, you're working in the NHS, you're a farmer, you're a small business owner, or someone in the travel and hospitality industry, it's been hell. It really has been. It's been really difficult. You can't plan your business. You can't see the end in sight. And there's been a lot of hope, and then that hope's been dashed. It's been really, really, really tough. And I know from my children who are all but one now working. They're working in environments where they might be sharing a desk with 3 or 4 people in the house. And many of them have actually not seen friends for ages. So it's been really, really difficult for a lot of people, and I feel very fortunate that I'm older. I feel very fortunate I've been able to basically escape the kind of the sharp end of some of this. It was quite interesting. Last week, I was invited to do what we call a stress test on a cruise line that's coming back into service. Celebrity Cruises, brilliant cruise, fantastic product, great people. And they are doing, like a lot of the cruise lines at the moment, they're doing sailings around the UK. The public can go on in a COVID-friendly environment and enjoy a 6-day cruise around the British Isles. They wanted to basically stress test the product by inviting some friends and family on board before the ship went out for its first revenue sailing. And what was incredible was that, if you can imagine, a year ago, they had 25,000 crew members that they had to repatriate around the world. And these guys and girls come from literally around the world. And the ships that they were maintaining, you can't turn these things off. You have to basically, these are big ships. So what you have to do, you have to keep them running. So you have a minimum crew of 120 people on board throughout that period. So coming back together again, with crews coming back from around the world and being able to, the very first time, invite guests on board was a massive thing for them. It was really, truly emotional happening. And we were fortunate, I think, 150 of us who were able to go on board for a ship that normally would have 3,000 guests, around 1,200 crew. And the crew were all there. But the welcome that we got when we got on board the ship, and the emotion of the fact that they were able to cruise again, was so significant. It was really overwhelming. And it demonstrated, I think, what a lot of people have felt during this period. Freedom Day, as we talk about it, which is coming up soon, we hope, is hugely important for people's morale, really important for their mental health. And I believe that people can't wait to get back to spending time with people. That's what we like to do. We like to engage, we like to spend time. It's all very well, you and I have a conversation over Zoom here now. But the reality is, I'd much rather be doing this over a cup of tea with you in the room, and get the opportunity to have a proper chat. So, long-winded answer to your question there, but I think it's affected everyone, and I've been very fortunate.
The aim of this podcast is to delve deeper into some of the more testing times and setbacks that come along in life. Other than the pandemic, what would you say have been some of the challenges you've had to overcome in your personal life or career in general that will always sort of stay with you?
I think in life you learn from everyone, and you learn all the time. I think my general philosophy is to work hard. I think to be successful in any business or in life more generally, you have to work hard. And you have to work hard at not just your business, but more importantly, your relationships with your friends, your family, your loved ones. It's about putting energy into every aspect of your life. I'm a dyslexic. I wouldn't describe that necessarily as something that's held me back. I found out I was dyslexic quite young. I was probably about 7 or 8 years old. I think my reading age at the time was equivalent to about a 4-year-old. It was pretty poor. But by diagnosing that particular problem earlier, I was able to basically do something about it. And thank God Microsoft came along. And whilst I'm a little bit word blind and things take me a little bit longer, and I find it quite difficult, interesting enough, doing chats like this, it's one of those things you learn to live with, and you just get on with it. I'm told dyslexics also think differently, because some of the kind of ways in which we are wired we tend to think a little bit differently to people who don't have dyslexia. What happens with life? It's the old adage, isn't it? What doesn't kill you. Basically, you learn from, and you develop new compensation techniques, and you also actually surround yourself with people who are really good in spaces that you're not. So I think one of the things I always say to people is recognize strengths. Don't worry about too much about the areas of weakness. People are very keen to try and say, you've got to spend ages trying to address your weaknesses in life, whatever it happens to be. Play to your strengths. Some people are not academic, but they're brilliant when it comes to engaging with people. They're friendly. They light up the room. They're energy people. They're fantastic people. They're people you want to be around.
Yeah.
So it's life is broad, and we all need to play our part, and we all need to play to our strengths. But all I would say is never feel that you are different, just that you are good at some things that other people aren't, and there'll be other areas where you're weaker, and just play to your strengths.
Yeah, definitely, completely agree with that. So talking of fantastic people, we've spoken to a lot of people recently, and one common theme is that family is a massive part of what they have achieved or currently set out to do. So talk to us about your support network and how the important people in your life have had that effect on you.
At the end of the day, family drives ambition, I believe. And I think once you've got that personal ambition, etc., what's it all about? At the end of the day, we will leave this earth, and we'll have been here. But legacy is about, I think, people you leave behind, relationships you have. I'm very fortunate. I've got a loving wife, 3 fantastic children. They're all very different in their own way. But friends I was at school with when I was 6 years old are still my friends today. I'm very fortunate in that respect. My grandmother is still with me. Can you believe it? I'm 57 this year. She turned 100 last week. She's just a mine of information, mentally incredibly astute, and very much is the matriarch of the family. So I've learned from her. I learned from my own mother. Sadly lost my father when he was relatively young. He was 58. And so obviously I miss him desperately. We had a close relationship. So it's for me, it's about family and friends. I don't tend to differentiate. I mean, obviously your family is your bloodline, but I have friends that I actually love every bit as much as I do my family.
Yeah, I think it's that sort of famous sort of saying, though, you can't pick your family, but you can pick your friends. And if your friends are essentially your family, then that's a great thing to have. But away from the world of work, what do you like to get up to, and what are your sort of passions or hobbies in life?
Hobbies in life, I try and make time for some hobbies, and things that kind of really enjoy are obviously my friends. We like to entertain, particularly that's one of the reasons we moved, because we wanted to be able to have people up and entertain more. And I really enjoy family holidays. Of course I do. I love going away. I love traveling. Again, it's about meeting new people, new cultures. My grandfather were both in the motor trade, and so I grew up around cars. So I like British classic cars. I've got a couple of old 1960s Austin Healey Sprites. That's the one that's particularly valuable. Squeeze into it somehow. I love I'm not very good at tinkering with them. I can tell you what's wrong with them. I'm actually hopeless at actually doing anything about fixing them. So again, I surround myself with people who know what they're doing. But yeah, I love the cars. I love entertainment, and I love spending time with my family and friends.
Yeah, so I think there will be many people out there who will be interested to see the progress of Ultimate Travel Club over the next few months and years. But what does the overall big picture look like for you personally in terms of plans and achievements for the future?
So the immediate plans are to launch in September. We've been fortunate. We've had the support of a number of founder members who have joined us, and we've still got a few founder memberships left, whereby they get 3 years worth of membership for less. But we're also using both our founder members and those people who've waitlisted. So if people are interested in the concept, they can go onto the website and just put their names down for a waitlist. If they do that, there's no obligation on them to join. If they do join, we'll put £50 in their travel account, so they've got some money to spend from day one. So September is our launch. Between now and September, I'm hoping that we get a significant number of people on the wait list. I'm hoping that we basically and get the technical side of our business sorted. So at the moment, we are integrating the technology from the website to the app that we'll be developing, to the clubhouse, where our members will be able to go and access the prices and purchase the holidays and so forth. So that technical side is something, again, I shy away from and bring brilliant people in to do that for us. So that's happening as we speak. Our marketing is gearing up over the next few months. And then from September, we'll be out there welcoming people to the club and building a club around them. And we're very concerned and want to make sure that actually at the heart of our proposition is it is a club. It's a club run for members. And we want to make sure the members are very much involved in the products and the propositions that we develop. So we'll be doing that together. So we'll be actively researching and talking to them, checking in with them. When it comes to looking at some of the benefits that we can offer outside of travel, we'll be testing over the next few weeks other products and services that we can build into our proposition.
Yeah, well, best of luck with it. Obviously, the launch is obviously in September 2021, as you say. But especially after, the debacle of COVID and people not being able to get out and travel and just have a holiday here and there is going to be something for everyone to look forward to. So if everyone's listening, then please make sure you go and follow the movement of Ultimate Travel Club. But Stephen, it's been a pleasure to learn more about Ultimate Travel Club and your stories behind the brands you have been successfully involved with. But unfortunately, we have to come to an end. But before we do, perhaps you'd like to tell our listeners where they can find the club and how they can access it before and after launch.
Okay, so just go onto any search engine, Google, whatever, and type in Ultimate Travel Club. The email address is www.ultimatetravelclub.com. That's Ultimate Travel Club, one word.com. And you'll also find details about our founder memberships there. But join the wait list and come on the journey with us, and hopefully we can bring back travel better together.
Great. Well, thanks to Stephen for giving us his time and joining us for today's episode. Make sure you give us some love on the socials and listen to all our previous episodes wherever you get your podcast from. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, I'll give you Mr. Stephen Knight.
So that's it for this episode of People Behind Brands. I'd love to hear from you all, so if you want to get in touch, follow us on our social media platforms. If you like what you heard, please rate and subscribe to our exclusive content now. Join us next time for a brand new guest on the podcast as we explore yet more life lessons from the world of business. We'll see you soon. Ta-da!